Getting through your first week of sobriety. So my name is Leon Sylvester. I run a company called SoberClear.com, which helps business owners and professionals get control of their drinking. Now, I've worked with multiple hundreds of people, and I have also gone through this 1 week process so many times because I'm the type of person that was stopping and starting drinking just countless numbers of times. So not only have I gone through this process of day 0 to 7, 50 times, but I've also helped multiple hundreds of people do it. So I know what to expect during that first week. So what I want to do for you in this video is really unpack day 0 to day 7, because if you can get through the first week, once you've got through the first week, I'm telling you, everything gets better after that first week. I'm not gonna lie, that first week can be a bit of a challenge, which we'll unpack later in the video. But by the end of this video, you will have a plan, you're gonna feel more confident, you're gonna feel ready to truly tackle this. Because don't forget, every single person that you maybe look up to or you've interacted with that has stopped drinking alcohol have gone through that first week successfully. They didn't give in that first week, right? So that's what I want for you. Is I want you to have a game plan. I want you to have a system to follow where you tackle that first week, you get to the end of the first week and you're like, I did it. I know what I've got to do now. Now, if you actually want my personal help stopping drinking alcohol, you can click the link in the description to book a call where you and I jump on a call, see if working together could be a good match. I work with business owners and professionals and I help them apply something called first principles thinking. And then we use coaching. We have accountability and a community of other people to do this with. Want more details on that? Please do click the link in the description. But now let's get into days 0 to 7. Now, the most important thing to talk about before we start talking about day 0 to 7 is what happens before day 0. This is really, really, really important stuff, right? Because like I told you, I have done this probably 50 times, but I have failed 50 times, right? I've gone for a week and then started drinking again. But this time I've not drank for 4 years, so I've gone through that week again, but for some reason it lasted, right? I didn't go back this time. Why is that? Well, it's because of what I did before. Now, in the past, during that first day, day 0 and behind it, what led up to the decision was important. Because a lot of the times what would happen is something bad would happen in my life. Something would blow up, right? Like there was a time when I was sick on a computer. There were times when I'd had an argument with somebody or, I don't even want to get into it, but I'll give you like one example. I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I got really drunk at a family member's funeral. And I was like a teenager at the time and I got really drunk at this family member's funeral and just behaved like totally obnoxiously. And it was, this is the thing is, when these kind of moments happen and the problem was so in my face and all my family are looking at me like, what the F are you doing? When are you going to sort this out? I'd be like, okay, I'll change. And I'd really try, right? I'd really just try to stop. When I made the attempt, I had every intention to not drink, but I'd go back on it because I hadn't solved the root cause of the problem. And the root cause of any drinking problem is simple. It's seeing alcohol as a beneficial thing that adds value in our life. If you don't solve that, then you're never going to solve the drinking problem, because even if you stop drinking, you will feel like you have given something up. And that's what we want to get rid of. For you to get through days 0 to 7, and then for you to continue on this path, you need to address the root cause of the problem. You need to get to the underlying cause of seeing alcohol as a good thing, so you don't go through the next 4 years of your life, or however long it is, feeling like you're missing out, feeling like you have to avoid certain friends, avoid certain bars. That's what we don't want to happen. So the way that I tackled that first period before I actually made the decision to stop was reframing the way I viewed alcohol. Now, I'm not going to lie. The day that I stopped drinking, again, I'd had one of those scenarios, right? It was just like my life blew up in my face again. I'm faced with this problem and I'm looking at my life and I'm thinking, damn, here I am again. At ground zero, screwed things up. But what I did differently was I used something called first principles thinking, right? So what I did is I unpacked the problem. I looked at all of the component parts of my drinking. Why did I do this? Why did I keep making this mistake? Why did I keep going through this process? And basically I uncovered that the root cause of the problem was seeing alcohol as a good thing. And once I changed the way that I viewed it and started seeing it as something that provides absolutely zero value. Yeah, I almost want to swear, but I'm not going to swear, but zero effing value, right? There's no value that it gives you. Once you replace this idea that it does give you value with the idea that it gives you zero value, stopping drinking becomes a choice. It's a logical decision. So now I'm not saying that this week that we'll unpack in a second is going to be plain sailing, no issues, no ups and downs. Absolutely not. But provided that you can unpack things and build that paradigm where you see alcohol as poison, day 0 to 7, you're just going to be in a different frame of mind. Because if you ask me, frame of mind is everything when it comes to stopping drinking. In fact, it's not like something, it's the only thing. Because once you get that right, everything else follows from mindset. Anyway, so if you want more details on first principles thinking, definitely click the link in the description. There is a training video that I've made talking about that, so you can check that out down below. But let's say you've gone through that process and you're in a place where you're like, I know alcohol gives me nothing, I'm ready to do this. What do? So you make the decision. Number 1, you decide, I'm cutting this out of my life. Now, what I always recommend is not saying to yourself that you're going to stop for 7 days, not saying to yourself that you're going to stop for 30 days or 90 days or something like that. What I always recommend is making a full, absolute commitment. You make a decision. Because when you make a decision, you don't have to make that decision ever again, right? It's just a decision, it's a cutoff point, and you're finished. I know for a lot of you, you might be watching this thinking, but I'm not ready to do that. Of course, it's not something that you can just click your fingers and do without doing those prior steps, without doing that research, right? End of the day, I'm not going to change my advice, right? I just truly believe that when you make the commitment, it's so much easier because you never need to make that decision again. So once you've done that, day 1, day 2, day 3, you might feel like trash. You might feel really, really bad. You might have flu-like symptoms. You may have some withdrawal. If you're a super heavy drinker, you might be needing to go to a detox, right? That's a small percentage of people, but that might be your experience, right? So that first few days, it can be rough. But it all comes down to your mindset, right? If you're mentally prepared to deal with any negative feelings and you're ready to kind of turn those negative feelings into a positive, right? And you're able to kind of feel this discomfort, but realize, hang on, my body's cleaning itself out. It's clearing up, right? This is actually a great process. If you're able to see it in a positive state of mind, then getting through that is fine. Because, at first it's a bit of a challenge, but then it just gets easier and easier and easier. And, after like day 4, day 5, you kind of start waking up again. The clarity starts coming back, the energy starts coming back. And don't get me wrong, this is different for different people. For some people, it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, it could even be a month until they start feeling good again. But for most people, usually around day 4, day 5, they start perking back up. Maybe they get a workout in, they start getting some good nutrition in their body. Maybe a few friends notice like, oh, you look a bit fresher, you look a bit better. By day 7, it just kind of continues, right? Things just get a little bit better, a little bit better, and a little bit better. But the great thing is that if you make that all-in decision and you change the way that you view alcohol, things don't stop getting better at day 7, right? As long as you can get through those first few days and you get to day 7, life will keep getting better. It doesn't get worse, right? Provided you change your worldview, it doesn't get harder, it doesn't get more challenging, it doesn't get more difficult, right? It gets easier and life gets 1,000 times better. Stopping drinking alcohol, I have seen so many amazing things happen for the people that I've worked with. I've seen people's marriages get turned around. I've seen people who have reignited relationships with children that don't speak to them. I've seen businesses explode, people hire new employees. I've seen people get 20,000 euro pay rises. I've seen people land $25,000 clients in their business the first week of not drinking because they're out, they're doing sales, they're doing the things that they know that they've got to do to build their business. I have seen this happen for so many people. It's transformed my life in every single way, and it's the best thing that you can ever do. I promise you, if you get through that first week, you will never look back. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you click the video on the screen now, you can learn 3 secrets to getting control of your drinking.